Hi, you guys.
Welcome back to our Wish You Love
Podcast.
My name is Jasmine.
And my name is Marilyn.
And this is episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4. I'm so excited to be here and start recording. This is the funnest part about doing a podcast, I feel.
The last time we were recording, we literally texted each other like the night of, like, when are we going to do this again? Like, we should plan it already. So,
yeah, exactly.
Super excited to be here and, share yet another podcast with you guys.
Yes, and before we get into the episode, we do want to thank you guys for being here and are so excited to hear you guys' feedback about the topic that we're going to talk about today. And remember to journal yourself, to reflect, and to follow us as well on our Instagram, which is at
Wish You Love Pod.
And our TikTok. All that stuff will be listed on our socials. But yeah, TikTok, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen to your podcast, they're all under the same Wish You Love Pod or podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
You ready to jump to it?
Yes.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so for today's episode, the question is, what does love mean to you? And how do you recognize it in a relationship? So I guess I'll start. I just want to begin by saying that I don't know if this sounds like really, I don't know, like mean, but if you tell me that you love me, that essentially means nothing to me. For me, at least, action speaks louder than words, which is also, I don't know, a weird thing because words of affirmation is like my number one love language. But I think you guys will understand once I get into explaining it. But I really have to feel like you love me through acts of love, and then I'll know. In all relationships, whether it be romantic, friendships, or family, there are 3 qualities in my relationships that all remain within people I know that fully love me. And that is, number 1, loyalty, number 2, connection, and number 3, unconditional. To answer the first part of the question of what does love mean to me, I would say that love is unconditional, love is pure, love is having loyalty to that person and protecting them. Love is feeling an undeniable connection with someone. Like, I know you are supposed to be in my life and that you're going to do good in my life. I felt like this with many people, and I feel like for the first time I realized that I loved somebody and they loved me was with my dog Mickey. He gave me all those qualities that I spoke about. He taught me that love is not through words, love is through actions. He was a precious little dog and could obviously not speak English like we can, although he was a bilingual king and he understood he understood English and Spanish, which was great because you could speak whatever language him and he understood, like, genuinely. Yeah, but I knew he loved me by the kisses he gave me on my eyes to wipe away my tears. He showed me he loved me through patience during those long nights I wrote my papers, and he waited for me so that we can go to bed together. He showed me love through wanting to be around me and spend quality time with me, whether it be laying in bed together, going to our park, or just taking a drive to the coast. He showed me love through loyalty. No one could yell at me or play fight with me. He would like mess them up. It was so cute and so funny. And sometimes he would go like ham because he would like actually hurt the people, but
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't mess with my mom.
Yeah, no, he was really, really feisty. But our connection was pure, and he showed me how I should love, and most importantly, how I should be loved. If there is love between 2 people, you will feel the connection. At least that's how I feel. You will know that they got you like you got them. And above all else, it will be unconditional. No matter how many times I gave him a bath that he didn't want, or how many times he woke me up at 3 in the morning and I was dead tired. Loving each other was never a question. I love you through the good, the bad, the boring, the exciting, etc. Because when I love you, I can't imagine a life where you aren't there, because you bring me happiness through our connection. If I talk about Mickey, it's just because he was a huge part of my life, and so that's why his loss was definitely the hardest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. I remember when me and Jasmine literally went on our first kind of like hangout together, and she was like, do you want to say what you said? I remember it in my head, but maybe you remember it differently. You don't remember?
No.
So we were like eating at like a burger place, and then she was like, oh, I heard about your baby. We were talking about Mickey, that he had passed away, because I think she had seen my Instagram and stuff. And literally I remember my eyes like welled up, because I was like, yeah.
I do remember you getting emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know her yet, but I was like, yeah. So I mean, she didn't even know me and she knew about him. That's just very telling of how much he was like in my life. But to circle back to these qualities I see in my relationships, such as with my boyfriend, his loyalty is like never in question, and that's why there is trust. Connection is most definitely there. In fact, it was told to me that kind of like when we first got together, that he was like a lover from a past life. A psychic had told me this. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because when we were hanging out, he was telling me, he's like, I feel like we're continuing something that was already there. And I was like, I know what you mean. Like, it's so crazy. So it's like when somebody is meant to be in your life, like you feel that connection. But yeah, whether you believe in that stuff, I feel like, you know, the people in your life really kind of are on this like soul journey with you. Yeah. You know, so you can really, that's where the connection I think really comes from. But anyways, lastly, unconditionally through it all, like Anthony, my boyfriend, has been there for me through the good and the bad. So when he, Mickey, my best friends, etc., when they're all showing me these qualities, these 3 qualities I'm talking about, I know that is how I personally recognize love, because they all have that. Love means everything to me, and without love from these people, my life and myself would not be the same.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. And you guys, you'll get to know Marilyn more. But Mickey was just such a huge part of her life. And I think he continues to be, regardless. And he taught you what real love is and where you can detect that now moving forward.
Exactly. That's why I brought him up in this story, because technically those 3 qualities, you can see it with my best friend, you can see it with you can see it with Anthony, but I think he was the first one that I was like, oh yeah, this is how I recognize love. This is how I like to be loved.
I didn't know it, but now I know.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. And I love that, like, I wish dogs could talk, but I love that lesson of like, you know when a dog loves you and he doesn't have to tell you. Yeah, he'll do it through quality time or even presents. Like if you have a cat, they'll bring you like rats.
Oh yeah.
It's like their present, like, I love you, here you go. It's weird for us, but they do show like the, you know, 5 love languages. And in the purest way ever, I think. Like that's like pure, they don't, genuine. They don't want to gain anything. What are they gonna gain? They have everything in their eyes. Yeah. Yeah. Extra treat maybe, but that's maybe an extra treat. Yeah, maybe some dogs do it for the treat. I was gonna ask you before we get into how you identify like love in your life. What is your love language, like your top one? Have you taken that test? I have. Okay, so my love language is, it's gonna sound greedy, but it's not, okay, you guys? Oh, it's gift giving. No, that was mine too. Yeah. For a long time. I love the gift giving aspect of just someone being like, hey, I remembered about you, here's, you know, something. Or even me like showing my love language. You know, I just got back from San Francisco
And I got something for Marilyn because it's just my love language. That's my way of saying like, hey, I love you. Here's I thought about you. Like, you know. But yeah, that's my love language.
Yeah, I don't think that's materialistic at all. I think that was my #1 love language before it changed into words of affirmations, and that was literally like recently. I took the test actually like 2 days ago. Yeah, but it changed. Also, like physical touch used to be like 7%, the lowest one, but now it's not even the last one. So I feel like as you change throughout life, your love languages do change, you know. And I don't think there's like a better love language. You know, they're all good in their own way. You're just expressing love, essentially.
And I think is once like the people around you understand what they are and like accept it, and it's like, oh, she does love me. She doesn't need to tell me, but she just gave me a gift. Like, I get it. Yeah. Or, you know, I got a hug from her. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, I think that's what makes it like even more special and like loving.
Exactly. Yeah, because some friends are like, they love that physical touch, like hugging, and like I even had a friend like he's gay, but like he used to hold my hand all the time. Like some people just love like touching, you know. It doesn't have to be like sexual or anything, but some people love like that's their connection, how they show like I care for you, you know? So I love that. I love that. That's funny because it was my #1. It just changed, words of affirmations.
I should probably redo the test.
I think it's still your first though.
I think it would be, but just to see if like physical touch has never really been my #1.
Me too.
Which is hard because that's my boyfriend's #1.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend's too.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
I know. And then I'm just like
ew, why is it?
Yeah.
Ew.
I know.
I was just talking about how they're all like beautiful and I'm like, ew.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Maybe I've gotten better with it, but we'll see. I'll redo the test soon.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna reread the question for Jasmine so that she can answer it. So what does love mean to you, and how do you recognize it in a relationship?
Yeah. So when I was thinking about this question, I was thinking about, well, the first thing that came to my mind was my boyfriend. Just because I don't think I've ever experienced the type of love like that he's given to me before, aside of course from like my parents. But I would say Angel's the name of my boyfriend, and so Angel came to my mind. Then I also started thinking of other people around me, because I know that this question, for anyone who's listening, it doesn't necessarily have to be your partner, right? So Marilyn mentioned Mickey and her boyfriend, so I'm gonna bring up some other people as well. So I'm thinking of like my parents and like my best friends. But when I think about love, we'll start off with Angel and like what he's shown me. I think love is really pushing someone to be the best version of themselves, and, you know, understanding the person's flaws, accepting them, but also helping them get better with them. And I really think that's what I've learned the most with Angel. You know, he's really taught me to see things in a different perspective, helped me push myself. Just like a backstory, I think I mentioned this in one of the episodes, like I've always been a like ABC on track type of girl, and I never experienced someone telling me just relax, like you're okay, like not everything has to be about school and work and goals. Like you can have time to just go to the beach, or like, you know, like not do anything, like, you know. And so yeah, I feel like that really showed me like a different type of love, because with him, you know, I've gotten peace with it, so it kind of comes like tied in together. And then I think about like my friends, right? And I'm very, very blessed to have like a good circle around me and people who show me love. And their love for sure has been through actions. So I 100% agree with you. Words mean nothing if you don't back it up with actions.
Yeah.
And you know, they've shown me, despite our busy schedules, they don't need to talk to me every day. I take time replying back to messages myself. But when it comes to like my birthday, or just little things. Like they're there, they're showing me their actions. So a story time for me where I truly felt loved was actually this year for my birthday. Everything and anything that you can think of that went wrong that day. I ended up having to cancel some of my plans for my birthday just because I was just already a mess emotionally, and I just didn't want to do anything. And I really felt loved when out of nowhere 3 of my closest friends were like, we're not gonna take you home so that you can just cry and like be in bed. Like, we're going to do something. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do anything. Like, I'm done. And I just really felt their love because they put in the work and the action to show me like, hey, no, like, you're important. We love you. We want to celebrate you. We know how much birthdays mean to you. And yeah, I want to say within a span of 30 minutes, they called Angel, they bought pizzas, you know, they coordinated between them to do something super last minute and just make sure that I was having a good time. So that's where I felt the love with that.
I love that. I think that especially for you as somebody that's like, you're the coordinator. You're always the one doing things for either yourself or for people. So I think it's beautiful for when, honestly, when you needed that person just take over because you couldn't, you know.
You guys will get to know me a little bit, but birthdays, Marilyn knows because I shared with her. I like love birthdays. People ask me what's your favorite holiday, and sometimes I say birthdays.
I've said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's just where I felt the love from my friends. Like, I was like, okay, this is genuine love. Like, I might have not had what I originally planned. I might have not had the amount of people like I was expecting. But just the matter is like the fact that they just took the time to like plan it and do it for me and like show me like, no, we're here for you and we love you. Like, we don't need a fancy dinner or like go to the bars. Like, we could just, I think we ended up just watching Shrek.
Oh, that's a good movie though.
We watched Shrek. My best friend made margaritas, and then we did karaoke, and it was
honestly,
literally,
that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so again, like through actions, my friends have shown me that, through pushing me to become a better version of myself, and you know, bringing a new perspective. I think that's love for me too. I'm gonna shout out my parents now through patience and kindness. I know sometimes it's hard, you know, being like who I am. Call it being a Gemini, I don't know, but sometimes it is hard. But nonetheless, my parents show me patience and kindness, and really take the time to like be involved in everything that's with me and like about me. So yeah, I think patience, kindness, actions, pushing me to be a better version of myself, those are all definitions and ways that I feel loved. Oh, I would say one more thing that just came up to my mind. I have it here in my little notes. The term, I guess it goes with actions. If they wanted to, they would. I really love that. And you know, looking back at like my past situationships with other people, I was always like, you know, waiting for when and like for all of that. And when I met Angel, it's like, no, like it happens naturally, and they will do it if they want to and if they really, really love you. And that's where I've detected love as well. Just like, okay, like Angel loves me, he's done this, you know, he's never done it before, he's learned how to do it, and he's going out of his way to now like do it for me. So
I love that. Shout out to all the people mentioned. Shout out to Angel. I don't know if you want to do a plug for him. He's a singer, he's an artist.
Oh, he is. Yeah. So Angel is my boyfriend. He's also known as the Dunk.
The Dunk.
It's like THUDUNK. You can find him on social media and on other platforms, but he makes really good music, a little bit of everything. I think he's still trying to figure out his sound, but there's some really cool songs, and that's him showing his love language for me too, which I think is super sweet. So, but check him out. Yes, check him out.
He made our jingle too.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will probably see him on the like description on our Instagram or something. But yeah, search him up on like Apple Music or something like that. That's where I listen to his music. Yeah, he has really good songs. I mean, he just came out with a song for Jazmine, and it's really good. Do you want to tell them the title?
So the song is called To the Moon and Back. He created that, and he actually, story time, he actually gifted that to me for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I think that's like one of the like best, most special like Valentine's gifts I've ever received. But yeah, it's like super cute. I mean, the thought, if you look at the cover art, it's actually a picture of me and him. I know there's a lyric on there that mentions like flying on a carpet, and that's in reference.
Jazmine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I listened to that song, and I thought of Aladdin, but I don't think I really referred back. I didn't think I connected the two to Jazmine.
Yeah, it's in. Now you know. Yeah. Like, it's in reference to Aladdin, one of my favorite Disney movies, and then of course Princess Jasmine. So, but yeah. That's another, love for me. Like, wow, like,
I love that.
Went out of his way to do that for me.
Yeah, oh, so sweet. You guys should check him out. Really good music. I remember when I first met Jazmine, and she was like, "Oh, you sing like so does my boyfriend." He was sitting next to her, and then he just described it as like lo-fi beats. I wouldn't describe it as that. It's much better. Not that lo-fi is bad, but like, it's more than just, I thought it was like study music. You know, like you'll want to sing along to the songs once you learn the lyrics. And I remember I was like, oh, let me check out what because I seen he posted something about an upcoming thing. I was like, oh, let me check him out, because I was like cleaning the house. And when I played it, I literally texted Jazmine. I'm like, oh my gosh, you didn't tell me it was this good. It's pretty good. I love it.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, music is like his biggest passion. So I'm really happy for him. He's still discovering, his sound and what he really wants to. But I think that's kind of cool too, because he has a little mix of everything right now. Yeah,
exactly. And in a weird way, I mean, I have a playlist of his stuff, and then I just shuffle. For me, like, they all kind of blend over time. Yeah, I love it. Well, don't forget to reflect and think about, what does love mean to you? And if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below your love language. I wonder if you guys are words of affirmations like me, or gift receiving like Jazmine, or maybe physical touch like Angel and Anthony. We'll see in the comments below. But thank you guys for watching another episode, listening to another episode if you're listening to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that good stuff. Yeah, and be sure to follow us on all our socials. We Wish You Love Pod. And do you want to say anything else, Jazmine?
I'm just super excited. I hope, if you guys are listening us from the beginning and supporting, we really, really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. We've mentioned this before. This is something we've talked about doing. It's finally happening. It's kind of surreal and like exciting, because we're not sure where it's gonna go, but we're excited to just start and build that community. So thank you guys for checking us out, or continuing with these podcast episodes. Yes.
All right, you guys, and above all else,
we wish you love.
Bye guys.